Buongiorno. Post my last video on Introduction to Italian, I received many emails requesting another video. And there was also a complaint like the visuals in the last videos were not legible. So I hope there will not be any technical issues in this video. And you can also always zoom in while watching the videos if any of the text is not legible. Let's start. Comunichiamo in italiano lezioni 2. Bene. So in this video, we will talk about the future tense or futuro semplice. You might wonder like why I have chosen futuro semplice and not present and past tense for this video. Because in futuro semplice, the conjugation of verb with the subject is easier to understand because there is not much of a difference between are to conjugate are, ere or ire verbs. Now what are are, ere or ire verbs? These are the action verbs which are classified under these groups and on the basis of the endings. Like are verbs are those, the verbs which ends with are. Ere verbs are those that ends with ere. And likewise, ire verbs are those which ends with ir. So let's take for example of are verbs. Parlare, to speak. Cantare, to sing. Cucinare, to cook. Camminare, to walk. Arrivare, to arrive. Of course, there are many more, but we have taken just 5 of them. Ere verbs. Ridere, to laugh. Scrivere, to write. Credere, to believe. Chiedere, to ask. Chiudere, to close. Yes, it is difficult to remember, but that's how it is. Like to ask and to close. Ask is chiedere and close is chiudere. So in future tense, when we conjugate, we make sure we omit the e, the ending, and then conjugate it according to the subject which we are talking about. And also in are verb we replace a with e. Now let's understand this with the example. Conjugation of are verb for futuro semplice. Let's take parlare, which means to speak. Now here if you notice we are replacing a with e, and of course we are omitting e, and that will change as we conjugate with different subject. But parler will remain the same. This will remain the same and the ending will differ depending upon the subject. Io parlerò, tu parlerai, lui lei parlerà, noi parleremo, voi parlerete, loro parleranno. So facciamo un esempio. Let's do with an example. I will speak Italian. So I will speak. That means I have to conjugate with I, or in Italian io. I can say io parlerò italiano. But as we discussed in our first class, Italian is a null subject language. So we do not start with io. We simply say parlerò italiano. It's obvious. This conjugation means subject is I. Now let's take example with ere verb. Scrivere, which means to write. Here, rest is all remain same. We do not have to replace any letter. We just need to omit the ending e and conjugate as we did in with are verbs. So this is what I mean when we said a future tense is simpler, because the conjugation of are, ere and ire verbs, the endings will remain same for all the groups. So again, like scrivere, so io scriverò, tu scriverai, lui lei scriverà, noi scriveremo, voi scriverete, loro scriveranno. And if we take an example, then you will write in Italian. Can anyone guess which one? You will write in Italian. Yes, we're going to use the second one. Tu. Scriverai in Italiano. And we do not have to mention tu, because if we are saying scriverai, it means we are talking about you as in subject. Okay, this is an example with conjugation of ire verb for futuro semplice, and some of the example of ire verbs: aprire, to open; dormire, to sleep; coprire, to cover; partire, to leave. Let's do conjugation with dormire verb. Again, it's same. Now here again we do not have to replace. We just have to use we just need to omit the ending E and use the rest of the text as it is, like dormir. We're going to use the dormir and then do the conjugation as we did with RA and ere verbs. Io dormiro, tu dormirai, lui lei dormirà, noi dormiremo, voi dormirete, loro dormiranno. Let's repeat. Io dormiro, tu dormirai, lui lei dormirà, noi dormiremo, voi dormirete, loro dormiranno. Let's take for an example. We will sleep together. So we will sleep. I hope you have already guessed it correctly. We will sleep, noi. So dormiremo insieme. Insieme means together. He will sleep on the bed. He will sleep. So he means lui, lei. You can use, like, of course, if you're talking about male, then you can add lui here. Lui dormirà sul letto. Letto means bed. Frasi di esempio. Now let's take few more sentences. Here I have mixed all the are, ere and ire verbs. In January we will start an Italian course. E gennaio. E gennaio means January. Inzieremo. Inzieremo. Now under which group it follows? Inziare. So inziare, which is are group, we have replaced a with e and then we have done the conjugation with the subject we. E gennaio inizieremo un corso di italiano. I will close that door. Chiuderò la porta. Chiuderò la porta. This is ere verb, chiudere. The train will arrive 10 minutes late. Il treno arriverà con 10 minuti di ritardo. This is again arrivare from are group. Il treno arriverà con 10 minuti di ritardo. The plane will depart 2 hours late from gate 11. Now depart means leave. This is partire. So under ire group. So how will we change it to Italian? L'aereo partirà. Again, because it's ire group. So partirà con 2 ore. 2 ore means 2 hours. Di ritardo dal gate 11. L'aereo partirà con 2 ore di ritardo dal gate 11. Now the last one. Don't worry, I will help you to study Italian. Non preoccuparti. Now, non preoccuparti means don't worry. Okay, you don't have to bother. Be free. So we can say non preoccuparti. Ti aiuterò a studiare l'italiano. Now, aiutare, again, this comes under are group. Aiutare means to help. Ti aiuterò a studiare l'italiano. Now here, ti means you. It does not mean I. Aiutare, the conjugation which we have done, that we have done according to the subject I. Now, why in Italian generally we do this? Like we mentioned, ti aiuterò a studiare l'italiano. We will learn more about it in detail in the next class. So, I hope you enjoyed this class also of futuro semplice with are, ere and ire verbs. I can understand it's not easy to catch up all the things. That's why we have the online classes. And any students who want to learn Italian from scratch, they are most welcome to email me on robin.educator@gmail.com. I prefer to take only 2 students per week. So you can email me, and I hope to join for the online classes in the next week. Ciao, a presto.